to What's Right with the World with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
Hey, welcome to the show, everyone. What's right with the world? Here we are. And we are talking about a feel-good story today.
Oh, this is definitely a feel-good story. This is such a fun story. This is coming from the New York Post. So a homecoming queen nails the game-winning kick. This is from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. One Mississippi high school senior had to quickly discard her crown after being named homecoming queen and put on a football helmet. Kaylee Foster was crowned homecoming queen of Ocean Springs High School before Friday night's football game. She then put on her football uniform and kicked the winning extra point to lead her team to a 13-12 victory over George County High School. Foster kicked 2 field goals earlier, giving her a majority of the team's points. Primarily a soccer player, she has been kicking with the football varsity team since she was a sophomore and has been a member of the homecoming court for 4 years. She put her crown on back on after the game, posing for photos in her football uniform and tiara. Asked whether she was more nervous before the homecoming queen announcement or before the kick, she said, "I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be homecoming queen, but I was also pretty sure I was going to make the kick." How fun of a story is that?
That's some fun stuff.
That's great.
Yeah. We're living in a different world where people are a lot more open-minded where that's happening,
Yeah.
But it's cool, you were telling me about the story and then like when you said it was the game-winning field goal, I was like, ooh, that's even more exciting,
Oh, yeah. No, she didn't just kick a field goal. I mean, she scored the majority of the team's points.
Right.
9 of they won 13-12. So if she scored 9 of their points, then they got 2 safeties.
Either that or maybe they scored a touchdown. No. She kicked an extra point.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But she lit it up. So that's the important thing. And it's talk about open-mindedness, to where we are now. I mean, I think that's huge to be able to, have girls on the football team and to be able to do something like this. I mean, like I grew up in a big hockey town and, it happened and it wasn't that weird for me. There was a few girls that played hockey that would play on the guys' teams. And, at first you're like, what? They got a girl on their team, at first. And then all of a sudden, like you got used to it so quickly because there's a reason that they're on the team. It's because they're good,
right?
And it was just kind of accepted. And it's like, so I think I grew up maybe on the verge of that just starting to become a little bit more accepted. And in my town, it was because, it was such a big hockey town that darn well that there's going to be girls that are going to take an interest in it and end up playing. So yeah, I think it is a feel-good story. It's, the excitement level of all those kids must have been off the charts,
Oh yeah. That's so cool. That is so cool for the homecoming queen to also be the hero of the football, because that's a narrative. You know what I mean? Like the narrative of the homecoming king also being the like star quarterback or whatever is such a like a trope. You know what I mean? Like that's such a trope. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
good word, man.
Thanks, man. So, but that's such a narrative, for like classic sports movies or TV shows, like the homecoming queen or the prom king. Well, homecoming because it's in the fall. Homecoming king is also the star football player, and for it to be the homecoming queen who's the star football player and not only scores the majority of the points but kicks the game-winning field goal is so cool. And this is her 3rd year playing football if she's a senior.
And this is also, like you said, that you picked this up in New York.
the New York Post.
And it's a Mississippi school.
Right.
So this is gaining national attention.
Yeah.
To, which expands people's minds. And that's what it's all about. Keep your mind. This is why you keep your mind open, because there may have been, and there probably was a guy that was trying out to be a kicker on the football team who wasn't as good. They might have lost that game, but instead their mind was open enough to allow a girl to come in, be the kicker, and because they had an open mind, they won the game.
Right? Yeah.
Like it's just because you picked the player that was. The dog's freaking out about something.
She's excited. She's excited. She's a fan of football.
Yes, that's what it is.
Faith loves football.
Yeah, she's pumped up. So yeah. So this is another great story. Congrats to her and the school for the winning the game and winning the homecoming game is always the big deal. Yeah. So definitely. Congrats on that, and yeah, congrats for having the open mind to allow something like that to happen.
It's a great story, and it's a great story for the time that we're living in. It's a great reminder of just things that you probably it's a story that you might not have thought was possible, years ago, and
right.
And it's so cool, and it's also to be the because there's also stigmas of like a female who is a jock and wants to play with the boys might not be the person who you would think would be but just breaking down those barriers, because it's not necessarily the person who you think would also be homecoming queen, but the fact that she's both just really cuts down those stereotypes,
right?
And that's awesome. That's awesome. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's just really, I think the big thing with this one is it's just mind expanding in a lot of different ways. If you look at all the preconceived notions and ways to look at things throughout history, and you look at all the different pieces of this, it's like, people usually think of this, and that breaks down that stereotype. And people usually think of this, and this breaks down that stereotype. So it does have a lot of those little things that breaks down a lot of those typical stereotypes. And that's that's what's right with the world, is being able to break down those stereotypes.
Absolutely. And if you have more stuff like this, share it with us. The Great Love Project on Facebook, Glenn Ambrose Life Coaching on Facebook. Want more information? Go to glennambrose.com. And if you'd like to support the show or see video versions of it and a bunch of extra content, support us on patreon.com/Glenn Ambrose. Thanks, Glenn.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk at you soon.
Glenn is available for life coaching sessions. To book an appointment or for more information, go to glennambrose.com, follow him on Facebook and Twitter, or click the link in the description of this episode.